Soon it will be the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers, and we already know that we are going to have a special episode. What many still don't know is that Boom Studio Comics will also be doing stories to celebrate this anniversary. According to Boom Studio, the stories they will be publishing to celebrate this anniversary will be enjoyed by old and new readers. Still, you should know how the story goes, and, on this channel, we have released many stories from the comics. One of these stories was The Death Ranger, and this story ended in comic number 100. By now they have published several comics after that comic number 100, so we are going to start the story after the events of The Death Ranger, from comic number 101 onwards. This comic book number 101 begins by telling the story of what happened more than 10,000 years ago when Zordon had Rita tied up ready to sentence her to life imprisonment in a container and launch her into space. We all know that at that moment Rita cast a spell, and although they managed to lock her in the container, even so, Zordon was trapped between time and space. The important detail is that in that conversation they had, Rita told Zordon that the war was not over and that his power was going to grow, and she was going to defeat him. After 10,000 years, in the present, after the Rangers finish the Death Ranger thing, Zordon wakes up after having a nightmare about what Rita told him at that time. Because of this, Zordon has a bad feeling and tells Alpha to scan the moon again. In past events, the moon had been invisible, and this is why Zordon's feeling about the moon is strange. In Promethea, the Rangers are training in a training room that Matthew managed to get. In this training, the Rangers form two teams, and the training is paint-based to detect who has been left out. In a not-so-important fact, we can see that Aisha and Matthew have had a bit of a romantic moment, and then the Green Ranger asks Kimberly if Aisha has a partner. After training, Billy brings the news that the moon has reappeared, and even though this is supposed to be good news, still, Billy is worried as it means something has changed. The Rangers return to the command center, and as Zordon begins to talk about the moon, at that moment, they receive an emergency signal. Incredibly, it was a signal from Lord Zed asking the Rangers for help. Although the Rangers think it is a trap, they still feel they must go and see what is going on. After the Rangers morphed, they used the Dragon Zord with the new modification to fly so they could reach the moon undetected. Despite not wanting to be detected, even so, the enemy that was waiting for them on the moon was able to detect them and sent putty patrollers to stop the Dragon Zord. These putty patrollers are different, they are destroyed and then turned into cement. With this they managed to crash the Dragon Zord on the moon, and there we can see the command center of the villains. The Rangers start to see that many putty patrollers are coming, and along with them is Golder, but then they realize that Golder is not the leader, he is trying to run away from these new putty patrollers. Golder begins to desperately ask the Rangers for help, and the Rangers use the power blaster to destroy most of the patrollers. Golder tells the Rangers that she is coming and that she is going to kill Lord Zed, then the Green Ranger hits Golder and knocks him out. Tommy tells the Rangers that even though they think it's a trap, they should go to the castle to see what's going on, so they should start fighting the putty patrollers to clear a path. Billy decides to try to repair the Dragon Zord to have an escape plan, and Tommy asks Adam to watch Billy's back and keep an eye on Golder. The Rangers start fighting all the new putty patrollers, and Tommy asks Rocky and Aisha to go to the castle to look for Zed, so they both use teleportation to get to the castle faster. While Billy tries to repair the Dragonzord, Adam continues to battle with the putty patrollers to watch Billy's back, and at that moment Golder wakes up very scared. Adam senses that there is something Golder hasn't told him, so he asks him to see if he can get any information out of him. Inside the castle, Rocky and Aisha come across Lord Zed's throne, which is split in half. In that place we can also see that there is Finster, Rita's faithful servant and the creator of the monsters. Outside in the battle, we can see that Golder joined the Rangers and also starts attacking the putty patrollers. Then, Billy tells Tommy that Golder told them that they should go to the caves below the castle since that is where Lord Zed is. Tommy tries to tell Rocky and Aisha to go to the caves, but they have a different problem in the castle. The throne that was split in half turned into a monster, and now they must fight it while Finster enjoys what is going on. Because of this, Kimberly, Matthew and Tommy go to the caves to look for Lord Zed, but they realize that it is very dark, so Kimberly shoots an arrow to give some light to the place. At that moment, they realize something that they had never thought would be real, and that is that when the arrow fell to the ground, they could see the body of Lord Zed almost lifeless and asking for help. On top of Lord Zed's body was Rita Repulsa welcoming the Rangers with a very different physique. Apparently, Rita came back so powerful that Lord Zed couldn't handle her, and that's why Golder was filled with fear. We can see that Rita has different clothes. Her scepter is now black covered with red cracks, and on her head, she has something similar to what her father Master Vile has. Another important thing to note is that in the background we can see another being in the darkness with glowing blue eyes and a face full of cracks. Apparently, Rita returned with Evler and much more power, just as she had told Zordon 10,000 years ago.